For this diffusion method, we have the Kirby-Bauer test, and it is widely used in clinical laboratories. It is a simple method wherein antibiotic-impregnated paper discs are placed on an agar plate that has been seeded with the organism to be tested. Imagine this is your agar plate with your antibiotics. I want you to focus your attention on this particular antibiotics and observe how the concentration from these antibiotics diffuses into the surrounding agar. As you notice, the concentration of the antibiotics is highest right next to the disc, and it falls off in a predictable way as the distance from the disc increases. Let me give you an example. Let's say this, you want to know the antibiotic susceptibilities of Pseudomonas aeruginosa. By the way, Pseudomonas aeruginosa appear green on Mueller-Hinton agar. So after overnight incubation, you have this result. Take note that the seeded organism will not grow in the area around the disc if it is susceptible to the antibiotics. Therefore, we can say that in this example, the organism is susceptible to these three particular antibiotics. This area of no growth around the disc is called the zone of inhibition. The minimum inhibitory concentration, or MIC for short, is recognized by the presence of growth inhibition or clear zones surrounding the various antibiotics disuse. The diameters of such zones can be measured with a ruler. It should be noted that the relative diameters of the zones do not necessarily indicate the relative activities of the chemotherapeutic agents used in the test. The size of growth inhibition zones can be affected by several factors, including the amount and type of culture medium used, incubation conditions, rate of diffusion, concentrations of antibiotics used, antibiotic sensitivity of the organism being tested. The Kirby-Bauer test is only suitable for testing bacteria, for which standardized zone sizes have been determined. Reference standards are always used in interpreting data. Only pure cultures are suitable for testing, because results cannot be interpreted correctly when more than one organism is present, because different organisms have different reactions to antibiotics. Another method is the broth dilution test. Here we have tubes containing decreasing amount of the test antibiotics prepared by serial dilution. When a substance is diluted serially, its highest concentration will be the lowest dilution, while the highest dilution will contain the least amount of drug. So it is always the first tube that is the most concentrated, and the last tube contains the least amount of antibiotics. The tubes are inoculated with standardized suspension of the organism. After an overnight incubation, the tubes are examined for the presence or absence of growth. Two concepts can be derived from this test, namely the minimum inhibitory concentration and the minimum bactericidal concentration. An antibiotic's minimum inhibitory concentration, or MIC, is the smallest amount per unit volume that will inhibit the growth of a certain organism. The end point is the tube in which no growth is seen and that contains the least amount of the drug. So in this illustration, we can see that there are growth in the third, fourth, and fifth tube, but the first and second tubes have no growth. So MIC refers to the tube that contains the least amount of the drug. Therefore, it is the second tube. So the concentration here is our minimum inhibitory concentration. The antibiotics MBC is the smallest amount of the drug that will kill a particular organism. So the keyword here is kill. The keyword for the MIC is inhibit. How would we know that it has the ability to kill that particular organism? So these tubes will be subcultured on an agar plate and observed for growth after an overnight incubation. The MBC is the concentration in the tube with the least amount of antibiotic that does not show growth on subculture. Therefore, the first tube or the concentration in our first tube is the minimum bactericidal concentration. So here are the